What's hatching, y'all? We're here to find out what's inside a Dominaria United welcome booster. Now, normally I open these welcome boosters over on my main channel, but things have been really wild in the world of Magic, so I haven't had the opportunity, but I didn't want to let the chance to open one of these slide by. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the Dominaria United welcome booster. Now, if you're not familiar with this concept, every time Wizards puts out a new standard release, they will do one of these specialized welcome boosters that has particular artwork like this, but you can't get these in booster boxes or anything like that. How you get these is you go down to the game shop and you let them know that you're brand new to the game, and this is your introduction into it. So every single set has different cards included in their welcome boosters, and it's a great way to see kind of where Wizards' priorities are and what they want new players to lean towards, right? So let's take a look. Let me just zoom in a bit more here on this. All right, so starting out with the nice little introductory card that welcomes you into the game and says, here's some cards to get you started. And then on the other side of it, right away, make new friends every Friday night. Your local game store has Magic events every Friday. Now, I have to say, super happy to see the first thing that they're promoting is physically coming out to the LGS, especially since the welcome booster is given out at the LGS. So that's a smart move, and it's not like, yo, go get into Arena, forget about the store you showed up at. So, then we've got Meet Karn. So right away, we're diving in with some prominent figure in the story. I dig it. The artwork here looks awesome. And then on the other side, yeah, they did it right. Okay, so it says, Karn is a sentient silver golem who has near-complete mastery over artifacts. For centuries, his existence was defined by whatever purpose his creator assigned him. After finding true friends, saving the multiverse, and becoming a planeswalker, Karn set off to create his own legacy. That legacy at risk, he will stop at nothing to see the Phyrexian threat destroyed. All right, that's pretty cool. And look at this artwork, man. What is this from? I don't actually recognize this artwork. What is he got hovering above his hand? That's cool. All right. Then we've got, oh yeah, give us a foil forest because Wizards knows the truth. Greeny boys are best boys, right? So we've got this awesome, crazy looking forest. I love it. It's Seb McKinnon artwork, and Seb McKinnon is a beast when it comes to Magic artwork, right? Or any artwork altogether. I have a playmat of his that isn't even Magic art. So the artwork here shows a bunch of ancient war machines from the old days of Dominaria, and they've all stopped moving, and now plants have grown up out of them, and they've been basically dormant for so long that the plants have grown up into these gigantic hulking beasts of a tree as well. I love it. This is a really cool way to tie in the old Brothers War, but bring in that nature reclaiming everything at the same time, right? And getting a foil land ain't too shabby either. So after that, we've got a foil sunbathing root Wallace. So Wizards is clearly sending the message, green is the true path, and I approve. 1 green and 1, 2/2 with domain, 1 green and 3. Until end of turn, sunbathing root Wallace gets +1/+1 for each basic land type among land types you control. Activate only once each turn. So, ultimately, this is a pretty disappointing card, right? Like, from the perspective of somebody who's hardcore into the game and been playing for a long time. But from the perspective of a beginner, you look at it and go, wait a minute, whoa, it's 2/2 for 2, and then I can, like, pump it up by up to 5 if I have 5 different land types, so it'll be a 7/7? What? You know, like, it's got that fun feel to it. You can make this into a big hulker. On top of that, it tells you exactly what domain is going to be. So that is fun. And I just love this goofy little root walla. Like, he's just standing there on top of a stick, sticking his face up to the sun like, I am the man. He's got such a smug little look on his face. And that's because he knows if you mess with him and he flares out his hood, he will mess you up with a massive boost of sun power. And I like the extra fact that in Magic, they had the 5-color sunburst concept, and it kind of actually ties into the fact that he's bathing in the sun. So I don't think they normally put 2 foils in a row, do they? Whoa, what? Mega foils! All right, Wizards, coming out the gates. Lightning Strike foil. 1 red and 1 instant, deals 3 damage to any target. So now, not only have you seen a creature, now you've seen that you can burn creatures as well with massive lightning. The flavored text says, Danitha watched in shock as electricity lanced from Jaya's fingertips, obliterating the charging Phyrexians. What? Said the pyromancer serenely. I told you I'd learn some new tricks, and it's true. Jaya obliterated obliterates the Phyrexians like it's nothing. If you haven't checked out the story for Dominaria United, head on over to the YouTube channel Fantasy Geographic and get you some. It's super epic. And look at the artwork. You got Jaya flinging lightning everywhere. I remember when I first started Magic, the idea of fire spells and stuff like that you could just smash into creatures and players felt really epic, but it didn't pull me away from green. It just made me respect red's power. All right, after that, we've got Commander's Sphere. Now, this is one I would have pretty much bet on being in the pack, right? Because they definitely want to push Commander. Commander is a big casual format, and Commander's Sphere is a really easy gimme. Not only does it teach people that Commander exists, because you wait, add 1 mana in any color of your Commander's color identity. What's a Commander? What's a color identity? So it introduces that idea, and then you can sack this to draw cards. So it gives you mana, or it draws a card. It's 3 to put out in colorless, which means it can go into any deck, and you have a really, really cool piece of artwork for it as well, where it's like this cage with mystic energy trapped inside that you can pull on for mana, but if you crack the thing open and let that energy flow out, it'll fly up into your eyes, into your brain, and jam you full of magical knowledge. That is cool. Then we've got Sen'jur Connoisseur. 2 green and 3 is a 3/3 flying vampire. Whenever 1 or more other creatures dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Sen'jur Connoisseur. This ability triggers only once each turn. So this is another excellent representation of what's going on in Magic for black this time, right? Black is very much about creatures getting wiped out. So also not caring whether it's your creatures or your opponent's creatures. The Connoisseur doesn't care what kind of corpse she's going to feed on. Actually, now that I think about it, the flavor on this is kind of hilarious. It's like, let me get this straight. You're a connoisseur, right? I only drink the finest blood. What does that mean? I drink dead blood from every corpse I see. Oh, no, sorry. It's only once a turn. I'm very discerning. Any corpse that falls, the first corpse that falls in front of me each time, I'll suck on the blood from that one because I'm a connoisseur. Like, that is kind of a funny concept, right? The flavor text says, we cannot afford to let the Phyrexians win. They taste terrible. I never read the flavor text, and I swear when I started to read it and they said, we can't let the Phyrexians win, I'm like, probably because you don't want your dinner ruined. And then that's what the flavor text says. That is fun, right? A little bit of silliness to go with the concept. And honestly, she looks pretty epic floating up in the air there. And it ties back to the old original Sen'jur vampire from the beginning of Magic. So that is also very cool. Then we've got Urtai's Scorn. 2 blue and 1 telling you what blue is all about. Scorning your opponents, countering their stuff. So this is a counter spell. It costs 1 less to cast if an opponent casts 2 or more spells this turn. So it's 2 blue and 1 unless your opponent's cast 2 spells in the turn, in which case now all of a sudden it only costs 2 blue and it's as good as the original counter spell at that point, which is very strong. And I love the way that it ties into the history of the game in one way because it turns into the original counterspell, and in another way, because it represents the return of Urtai. Urtai was once actually a part of the Weatherlight crew, fighting on the side of goodness, and then he basically got pulled against his will onto the Phyrexian side, and then he had his life ended, and now he's back in service to the Phyrexians against his will. It's pretty wild, but Urtai's also got some massive ego that the Phyrexians are able to harness for their use, and you can see in the flavor text. You're not so special, Karn. Anything that's been assembled can be disassembled. Oh, no, disassemble. Johnny number 5 is alive. No, disassemble. Hey, oh, what a mean move. What a vicious move on Wizard's part. Oh, not only to put in a Johnny in, but to put a Johnny the Great-Hearted. Oh, he's so heroic looking, right? And he's working with the squad. Like, look, he's here with the squad. They're working together. Okay, this guy looks, I've never noticed how goofy this Eternal looks. Look at the size of its head. Is that because of Johnny's punching it in the back of the head? Is that what's going on? Did he knock its head around? That's hilarious. Okay, anyways. A Johnny Great-Hearted, originally from War of the Spark. 1 white, 1 green, and 2 for a 5 loyalty planeswalker. Creatures you control have vigilance. +1, you gain 3 life. -2, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and a loyalty counter on each other planeswalker you control. So this clearly brings in the concept of planeswalkers, which is a very striking style of card. You're like, whoa, this guy is definitely bigger and better than any regular creature. He's a legendary, wait, what's his creature type? Planeswalker. Well, that can't be a creature. So it kind of basically jars you out of the idea that you're just going to have creatures on the board battling against each other. They'll also be these legendary planeswalkers. And this is an extra brutal move because a Johnny gets completed, right? He gets turned into a Phyrexian. So we see him here on the side of good, battling ferociously. And then in Dominaria United, we see his fall as he turns to the side of the Phyrexians at a crucial moment, betraying his friends and the multiverse, but not intentionally. He has no choice. His will has been subsumed by Phyrexia. It's so epic, man. It is so epic. Okay, anyways, I love the artwork. Let's move on to the next card. Then we've got an insert. It says, join the Magic community. You got a gigantic, that Fibble Tip is gigantic. Look at the look at the size of the Fibble Tip, man. This thing is nuts. It's so big. What are they thinking? Fibble Tip is tiny. Look. I am Fibble Tip. I am as big as you. I'm coming to your house, and I'm gonna kiss your wife tonight. She's gonna lick the middle of my giant eyeball, bro. You guys see that? It literally is a Fibble Tip plushie. It's a dice bag. Isn't that cool? I happen to have it right here. So as soon as I saw the giant Fibble Tip, I'm like, he's tiny, although he looks massive here. What's up? What's up, buddy? I'm gonna sit on your counter. Maybe then your face. All right, moving on. We got this right here. It says, talk with your local store about your first purchase to help you get started no matter how you want to play. Wow, you know what? I have to say, we haven't seen any advertisements for Arena yet. They're probably coming after this. And then we've got, there's no wrong way to play. Have fun, play with a group in Commander, play with the newest cards in Standard, open boosters, and play a new deck each time in Booster Draft. All right, man. I love that they're focusing on the LGS. That is really awesome. Okay, then we've got, oh, awesome, Blackblade Reforged. 3 casting cost, legendary artifact equipment. So this is going to teach people that equipment exists, and it's a very clear concept with this. This is something called the Blackblade. It's clearly been reforged into something else. So what does it do? It gives equipped creature +1/+1 for each land you control, which is a huge, awesome feeling effect, right? You can use this in any deck. Any creature can be made into some massive, dumb, nonsensical beast with this. And the idea of just your favorite creature wielding a sword of darkness is also a lot of fun, right? So it equips to a legendary creature for 3, or it equips for 7 mana. So this is a fun way of showing that you can have multiple options in terms of equip costs as well, and that legendaries can be treated in a more special fashion. The flavor text says, it spilled the blood of one elder dragon. In Gideon's hands, it may yet taste another. So this is representing the War of the Spark, where Gideon is actually wielding the Blackblade in an attempt to take down Bolas, the most devastating and evil of all of the elder dragons. Now, we know that ends in tragedy, as Gideon sacrifices his life to save Liliana, so Liliana can turn the battle against Bolas at a pivotal moment. So the Blackblade ultimately didn't do that much for him, but it is a very, very cool item in Magic's history. It originally was wielded by Dakin Blackblade, who was tricked into creating it. It's got all kinds of people's souls stuck in the blade. Like, it is a wild piece of equipment. But just as a brand new beginner looking at this card would have blown my mind. It's got such awesome flavor to it. It's got such an epic feel, and it just fills your brain with, oh man, I could smash people so hard with this. This is such a great choice to include. And it ties into Dominaria too. Then we've got Philat the World Sculptor. Oh, this is an interesting choice. 1 green, 1 red, and 4 for a 5/5 legendary elemental. And this is just rotating too, isn't it? Didn't Zendikar just or was that? Yeah. Zendikar just rotated with Dominaria United, didn't it? So this is 6 mana 5/5. When it enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each basic land you control. It's got landfall, so whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put 4 +1/+1 counters on target plant you control. So essentially, it just makes a huge squad of 0/1 plants. And then you can keep playing lands and beef them into insanity, right? So this has that fun feel of making a huge squad of token creatures, introduces the idea of token creatures, and if I'm not mistaken, was there anything that did +1/+1 counters as well? Okay, Ajani actually was the one who introduced +1/+1 counters, so you can forget that. That was introduced previously, but at this point, I mean, so when somebody's new to this and looking at it, they're going to pick up bits of information here or there. We're just looking at the things that can be gleaned from this pack, right? Taking a look at the artwork, you can see this is some kind of absolutely nutty elemental. I'm not sure exactly how he beefs up the plants, but it looks like some kind of like verdant energy that he just infuses into them, picks them up into his hand, and then infuses magic into them, and they grow from 0/1 noodle plants into destroyers that could rip boars apart. That's epic. Oh, look at the stained glass, man. Turek Kennerid Sky Knight. 2 blue, 1 and 2 for a 3/3 flyer. whenever an instant or sorcery spell, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. This is going to feel like a lot of fun, right? Every time you cast a spell, you just get a 1/1 tacked on. What? On top of it, it's a 3/3 flyer, so it can fly over your opponent's creatures. And then you've got the stained glass artwork where she's locked in this crazy dive. Her griffin is diving headlong down, claws extended. Her spear, she looks like a descending angel of vengeance. This artwork is incredible. All right, then we've got a code. So in each of these, they include a code that actually gives you a full deck on Arena. So the first of you to actually punch this code in will get that deck. Hope you enjoy it. Overall, I have to say, I'm incredibly impressed that Wizards of the Coast took no opportunity to promote Arena in this pack whatsoever. And that to me says one of the biggest things that's going on is Wizards has a renewed focus on physical Magic. And that is incredibly heartening. What good news! Anyways, I wanted to mention for anybody who misses the old school pack openings, like where we did individual really old boosters, I'm out of those, but they're back on the menu. So if you'd like to see those kind of videos, we'll do them on this channel. Feel free to send in any packs you'd like to see opened. All right. Thanks for coming by, my friends. And if you're not already subscribed to the Hatcher channel, you'll probably want to do it so you don't miss out on some of the stuff we're doing. All right. Peace out for now.